Hello, everybody. This is B. McGraw with another fantastic author interview. Tonight, we have the pleasure of talking with Dick DeSwinger. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a Dick Dau Swinger.
Okay, okay. And we're here to ask him questions about his paper, an estimation of the probability of a coin landing on its edge, or as they call it in the paper, edging. Tell me more about your research.
Well, I do the work just like any other one of you. You go into the lab. Sometimes our lab happens around the craps table. Sometimes it's in the back of a casino in the parking lot in a coin flip. Well, this one particular afternoon, uh, if you could call 3 a.m. an afternoon on a Wednesday, I was in the back and I was surrounded by some pretty gruff looking gentlemen and I had it all on the line. All of it was on the line.
All of it? How much did you have going?
Oh, well, when you have as many kids as I do, you have to quite a bit of college funds that you have to blow through, but you can't win any money if you don't bet any money, right?
That's true. That's true.
So you flip the coin and it's usually done a coin toss before. It's either heads or it's tails. But
Yeah.
this time, things went a little differently than I had expected. It landed not on one side or the other, but right on the edge. So I thought,
Whoa.
we're gonna call it edging.
Okay. So you saw a coin edge.
I saw a coin edge. I thought, this is it. This is gonna get me out of the red and into the black. We're gonna flip it. Heads, I said. And it went heads, then tails, heads, tails, and it bounced back and forth and then it landed right on the edge. It was so painfully close to landing on heads, but
Whew.
it just stayed on the edge, so I thought we gotta call
So
it edging.
so you were just caught in anticipation the whole time, and you just didn't quite get there. It
The
was
entire
just
time I
stuck in
was
between.
working on it, waiting for something to happen, but then pulling back at the last second, I thought maybe it'll be tails, but just kind of kept working towards heads, and it was close, and it was so dreadfully close. My heart was beating very hardly in palpitations. I had blood swelling everywhere in my body, but it landed right on the edge. So I thought somebody's got to write a paper about it. Nobody's been talking about edging in any circles that I'm in, and I'm in a lot.
No, no, I didn't think so. There was the recent Ig Nobel Prize I saw you mentioned in the paper about the probability of a coin landing on the same side, but it didn't talk about edging at all.
No, we're breaking into whole new realms of science here. Nobody's
Yeah,
doing it before. It's so
I
hard to find
see.
something novel in this world, and we've done it, by God.
I know. You get scooped every which way. Did anything happen special before the special edging that you saw? Did you rub the coin a certain way, or did you shake it a certain way?
Well, before I do any coin toss, and as it turns out, before I do any sort of edging, I go to my special dealer. He has a assortment of balms, and this is common in coin toss circles the world
Okay.
over. You rub your palm with the balm, and that takes out any sensation, and then you're able to just flip coins. You can go in the back alley and you can flip coins for hours, and usually I'll sprain something. My wrist might get sore. Maybe I'll pull my hip because you gotta lay down. You gotta squat in a deep squat to do a coin toss competition. But when you
It's
put
in a
the balm
squat.
on,
Like, wait, you squat in a coin toss? Really?
well, there's no seats in the alley, and you're flipping it,
Huh.
or in the parking lot. When you flip the coin, you gotta surround. Everybody's gotta be around, and they gotta see it. So you gotta squat. If you set up a table in a parking lot in a Las Vegas parking lot, the authorities will be after you real fast, and then you're gonna have a bad time. They would like to see you try edging in
Hmm.
prison. It's not fun.
No, I wouldn't imagine it would be. Man, I didn't even know coin toss games were illegal.
Well, the coin toss games aren't illegal, but it's the tables. It's a
The
semi-permanent
tables.
structure, and they're very strict about that sort of thing in Las Vegas. In Nevada,
Oh,
in
so it's more
general,
of a
Las Vegas
permitting thing.
specifically.
Okay. So it's more permitting. Okay.
But you put the bomb on, and then it takes away the sensation, and then edging is imminent. That's what I've
Huh.
come to find as I've done this more with practice.
Huh. Is it like? But it's like so close. Like, did y'all wait for it to topple one way or the other?
It's so painfully close. That's a slight breeze would have sent it over the edge. But
Okay.
didn't. It was that painfully close.
Wild. So what affects the probability of edging a coin?
Well, some of it is how many times have you flipped how many coin flips have you done recently?
I don't do that much coin flipping.
Oh, well, there's circles. It's very popular in certain circles, and it's
Mm-hmm.
everybody loves it. It's a good time, and everybody just goes. They get together and they do a coin toss. And if you've done a bunch in a day, if you've done several coin tosses in one day, then your probability of edging will increase. It's a numbers game at the end of it. It's all about the figures. You need to have full, robust figures, and to edge properly.
So this is like a monkeys on a keyboard typing Shakespeare situation.
That's
Keep doing
right.
it enough, it's gonna happen.
You flip enough coins, eventually you're gonna get one on its edge.
So
And I
like
flip a lot of coins.
yeah, so one coin toss. Let's say it's one coin toss. What's the probability of that coin edging?
Infinitesimally small. I don't even know if we have a number for it, but if I had to put a number on it, I'd say somewhere around 10%.
That's pretty high.
It's
That's that's higher than I would expect. 10%.
it's surprising, but again, most people don't flip that many coins, so you don't
Oh, oh,
see heads of
this
the
is
tail.
after flipping a lot. Okay.
Yeah, but
Huh.
if you're flipping it all the time, if you're always seeking the edge and trying to just get ever so painfully close, like I am, then eventually you're going to start edging more often.
Hmm. Very, very interesting. So, what coins are better or worse at edging than others?
For my money, the best coin that I found is a 1952 special edition silver dollar.
Whoa,
They're rare,
that's
but
rare.
you need to go to a collector. You need to go to certain stores and go to certain areas of the cities. Every city has them, whether you like it or not. If you don't know the stores, then you're turning a blind eye. You go in, you ask the nice person at the cash register to go to the back room. There, they'll pull back aside the curtain, and there's a machine that will dispense. You put in 15 regular quarters, and then you get a special 1952 silver dollar. It's this limited edition one that's the best for edging. That one will get you 12%.
Wait. There's a machine in the back of us. What stores have these?
Well, it's a it's a special. It's the same store I buy the bombs at. You go.
Okay.
It's. I
So
guess
this is like a coin flippers store for
coin
people that are
flippers.
into coin flipping.
They have everything that you could possibly want for coin flippers. They have
Huh.
prosthetics to help enhance. They have sometimes you need to agitate the coin before you flip it. So they have vibrating devices that you can put the coins on and it jiggles them up. You put them in a sonic jiggle bath and that prepares the coins for edging.
Wait, what's the point of the jiggling?
It just gets all the loose debris off of it, so that
Oh,
way
so
there's
okay.
as few factors influencing it. It's just the coin as it came out of the factory.
Whoa. Okay. So it's this is like power washing your coin.
Exactly, but you don't. Power washing is too aggressive. If you power
Okay.
wash, you're not going to edge. That's too harsh.
It's too much, too harsh. Hmm.
Sonic jiggle bath.
I've never known about this. This is a completely new world to me. I was about to say, like, if I showed up to flip a coin and I had a special, silver dollar, I'd expect people were like, "What are you? We cheating? We cheating this? Is that some special coin? But that's a special one that everyone can trust."
If you show up to a coin flipping circle and you pull out a silver dollar and people accuse you of cheating, you're about to get hustled. Real coin flippers, real edgers, know that if you want to do the edging game, if you want to really flip coins for keeps, silver dollars.
Silver dollars. Hmm. That's good to know. If I ever end up in a coin tossing match, can't say that ever happens.
I pray
Um,
that you don't.
yeah. I usually stay out of trouble. I don't get. Speaking of that, I did notice in your conflict of interest section on the paper, it says here funding for this work was provided by Edgelords International, a division of Wealth Consolidated, in payment of a debt incurred from a game of heads or tails. Was this paper written under duress?
Well, I mean, it really depends on how you define the word duress. If you mean that there were several large suited men surrounding me with a hammer held over my head in a menacing fashion, then yes, I would say that it was written under duress.
Well, that doesn't sound much worse than my thesis review committee.
Exactly. Anybody who's been
Okay,
to academia on the higher levels, they're used to this sort of thing.
that's a normal amount of pressure, yeah. There was some pressure. They were
Exactly.
paying for it. Hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't my first choice of papers to write, but I really soon found out that I had little choice in the matter, and it was actually worked out the best for everybody because now I get to be here talking about these wonderful findings with you.
Yeah, no, it really worked out. How much? Wait, how much money did you owe Edgelords International?
Oh, well, a good college education these days. What is that? 40, $50,000 as a baseline. Three-quarters of $1 million.
Whoa. Well, shoot. Well, I hope you have enough to send your kids to college now after that.
Well, I mean, I'm back to square one. This whole thing was it was a big learning experience, but now that monkey's off my back. I'm debt free. I'm here. I'm hoping it's going to be a very lucrative paper and bring me a lot of returns. If that all works out, then maybe one of them can go to school. The rest will be sent off for experiments, unfortunately, but I know a lot of scientists, some quite reputable.
Yeah, no, you can always just get your kids involved in scientific experiments. They always need test subjects. I don't
Sure,
know
and
how well paying that is, though.
once you get into gambling and coin flipping, it becomes a game of numbers, right? So, I can only, on my best day, flip two coins at a time. I only have two hands. And after that little exchange, I'm lucky to walk away with that many. But with my kids, now we're well into the double digits with how many coins we can flip. So, you do the math.
Hmm. So do you make more money from coin flipping the more flipping that you do?
I mean, you're gonna hit. So, if the way I understand the gambler's fallacy is you're bound to hit one time. If it's 10% that you're gonna get edged out, then you flip the coin 10 times and you're gonna hit that one time. So you just time it so that that 10th time, when it lands on the edge, is when you have the big bet for the payoff.
Okay. So I don't think that's how gambler's fallacy works, but I guess you're the expert here.
I mean, who's knows more about edging than me? I'm a world leading,
You
renowned
you wrote the paper, yeah.
ladder expert man.
So the silver dollar's good at it, good at edging. So is a longer coin better at edging or is a thicker one?
You want it to be, I mean, long is good. Nobody's gonna turn you away if your coin's a little too long, but we really want a good thick coin for edging because it has that extra surface area where it counts, and then it'll land not on the heads or the tails, but right on the side, right on the edge,
Huh.
and that's where you want it to land. Because the edging is
Right
where you
on
get
the
the big
edge.
bets. If you've ever done roulette, you spin the wheel around, and it's those double zeros. If you bet on the zeros, that's when you get the big payouts.
How often does it just land straight on the edge, or is it normally like it flips around a bunch and then it slows and then settles on the edge?
I'm glad you asked. It's a very good question. That's the question I get asked the most? And no, the answer is yes. It bounces back and forth, and then it lands on the edge. Once it starts circling around and spinning around, it's too late. That's goner. That your night is over. Your night is blown. You've blown
So
your
it
whole
never
load if it starts circling around the edge like that. It's got to go
so it
back.
never recovers if it starts
It
spinning.
never recovers. There's no coming back from that. No
Well,
matter how many.
that makes sense since your paper said that you neglected to include air resistance or angular momentum.
I mean, everybody, you can't account for everything. Sometimes there's just too many variables. I only have one whiteboard. I don't have enough space to do all of that, so I neglected them. I had to do it for science. But I told everybody about it, didn't I? I'm not a fraudster.
No, you wrote it up. You documented the research. So wait. You only have one whiteboard of space. You can't use any paper or anything.
Come on. It's 2024, man. We can't use paper. We're trying to be a green lab here. It's next to impossible.
But you always get those markers that just go dry. You run out. You basically spend all your money on markers.
Well, between markers and my exotic coin collection, I'm not the best with my money. It's true, you got me there. I guess some sort of smart board would be the better choice, but it's a hamster wheel, man. I just keep
Yes.
spending my money on my bombs and my coins, and I can't afford the smart boards.
Smart board's even more expensive. I'd go with paper first.
But the environment,
True. Well, I'm glad that you care so much about the environment that you're just using a single whiteboard.
just the one, just a single
Okay.
24-inch by 36-inch whiteboard. That's all my lab can afford right now until I kind of get free and clear from some other mishaps I've had down Reno way.
Man, your lab seems to have all sorts of money troubles too. Is this from the heads or tails games too?
It's not all the heads or tails games per se, but they certainly account for a lot of it. But it's just our our margins are paper thin. They're the standard dimes edge width thin. We don't have much going on here, so we're trying to get ahead. But you take 3 weeks off to recover from a broken femur, and all of a sudden your H index plummets, and you have nothing else to do. You got to start back at it's publish or perish, and I'm perishing half the time.
Oh my goodness. Also, you just don't get much from grants. It's not about making money anyhow. Yeah, I can see that.
You gotta love it. You gotta love
Yeah,
it.
that's the lifestyle.
I'm all
So
about the lifestyle. My lab, it's a lifestyle lab. And, we go in these circles, and we just love the lifestyle.
so there's a lot of trouble these days about replicating papers. I noticed you just presented the math and the theory of edging. Are you planning on replicating or having any efforts to replicate your results?
I try to replicate the results of my paper whenever possible. Mrs. Dau Swinger, she's a big fan of it. She loves it when I'm practicing edging. Everybody loves it. The people in the lifestyle, they love it when I practice my paper. I brought it for the community so people can do it. People should be edging more often. People just live in this life where it's heads or it's tails, but it's more. It's more than that. It could be the edge. You can just land on the edge and you just keep pushing the edge further and further, and that's what we want to do. We want to push it until you don't have to blow your load and land heads or tails for as long as you want. Hours, days, weeks, man.
Wow, that's pretty exciting, and it's great that you're getting ahead of the curve on replicating your study. Well, I think we about can wrap it up. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the paper that I forgot to ask?
No, I think that about sums it up. I just felt compelled to talk about edging and just how important it is, and I wanted to tell the world about it. Because, sometimes these academic papers, they're just not built for the normal, for the everyday person, for the layman. I wanted for everybody to be laid. Everybody needs to know about it, so we can all be laid men and
Oh,
understand the science.
yeah. Well, we're all about understanding the science. That's what we're doing. Is what we're getting into it, getting behind the research and what you did to come to your conclusions and analyze the data and
Just like science. It's about coming to the conclusions, and that's what we want to do. And if you don't like the conclusions that we came to, we'll come to some other conclusions, and we can all be coming to conclusions together, and it's the best. It's all what I care about. So you gotta love it, because I'm not making money doing this.
no one is. Well, that's just great. Well, this has been a fantastic interview on your paper on edging. Is there anything else you'd like to plug or tell our listeners where they can follow you or?
As a man of letters, I try to look into many different sources and try to find different ways to promote my science and learn from all sorts of different areas. And there's this great movie podcast I've heard about called High and Low Movie Show. These guys, they're whack. They're way out there. They talk about 2 movies every episode. And
Who?
it's crazy. You can check them out on their website, wherever you find your podcasts, on socials. High Low Movie Show. They're pushing the edges. You think I'm talking about edging? They're pushing the edges.
I'll have to definitely check that out. That sounds like a solid podcast. Well, this has been a great time. I've been B McGraw, and this has been Dick DeSwinger, or Dau Swinger, my bad, Dick Dau Swinger, with his fantastic paper on edging. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and share this podcast with your friends.